So I rewatched Nobody the night before I saw the sequel, and I actually forgot how much I really enjoyed this movie. It was a lot of fun, but is the sequel as good? And with a new director at the helm, does it take away from the original? Nobody 2 stars Bob Odenkirk, who's back as Hutch, a husband and father who just happens to be a cleaner for intelligence agencies and is working off a debt he accumulated from the Russians by burning all of their money in the first film. He has to work job after job, neglecting his wife and kids to the point where he just needs a break to reconnect with his wife and kids on a family vacation to Plummerville, a vacation spot amusement park that just happened to be the only place that his dad, played again by Christopher Lloyd, took him and his brother Henry to as kids and has fond memories of and wants to share those memories with his kids. While there, Hutch can't stop being the guy that he is when at an arcade, there's a confrontation with the sheriff's son and Hutch's son, and a security guard hits Hutch's daughter purposely. So Hutch then absolutely loses it and does what he does, leading him to a crooked sheriff played by John Ortiz and his sidekick sheriff Abel played by Colin Hanks. And they try to force Hutch and his family out of town. Why, you may ask? Well, that leads you down the road to a really bad evil character named Ladina, played by Sharon Stone, who is behind the corruption of the small town vacation tourist spot. The film is directed by Timo Tjahjanto. I think I said that right. I really probably butchered it. But this is his American directorial debut. And it's written by the architect of the John Wick world, Derek Kolstad. The film starts almost exactly like the first film, where Hutch is in a room with handcuffs, talking to the police, but now instead of a cat by his side, he has a wolf. Then it goes into the weekly montage of his daily events with all the same monotony, but this time as the action-packed auditor that he's really, really good at. I like that it starts this way, bringing the familiar of the first film, bridging it to the second. It has a great elevator scene that I think they took from Captain America, Winter Soldier, that they took from 3 Days of the Condor. Once the vacation starts, it sort of becomes more of a comedy, sort of like what happens when you combine Chevy Chase and Vacation with John Wick. Even the trailer has the song Holiday Road from the Vacation franchise as they're driving to the amusement park, which I thought was great and funny. And I feel like there are some tribute scenes to the original Vacation, like getting there and the water park being closed due to an incident. The plot seems sort of stupid, but I think that with this character, you have a chance of pulling it off. And for the most part, the film actually does. This film gives you exactly what you came for. The action scenes are fun and exciting. The bad guys are really, really bad. And it's satisfying to watch Hutch deliver the Hutch justice that you're there for. There isn't a lot to say about this film because it's what you're expecting and not much more. It's kind of like when you really want a Twix bar and you eat the first one and it was so satisfying, and there's a second one and you eat that one and you're like, yeah, that's what I was craving. I'm good till dinner. Bob Odenkirk is, of course, so fun to watch as this dad/assassin who loves his family dearly, but is this person deep inside he won't stand for injustice and being stepped on, and has the skills to back it up. We love films where the bad guys get what's coming to them, and this is that film. The movie does sidestep into a different type of more comedy film the way Megan 2.0 did, almost playing up to summer vacation films of the 80s like, again, Vacation or Summer Rental with John Candy, or even The Great Outdoors, again with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd, playing with some of these same scenarios seen in those films, but you find out what happens when these things happen to a trained assassin. It was an interesting take, and it was actually a lot of fun. Stupid fun, of course, but it was really a lot of fun. There's a really great scene where Hutch is being followed onto a duck boat where the tourists have these headsets on, and they're listening to the tour guide and don't hear the insane fight scene going on in the back of the boat, adding that summer vacation comedy to that John Wick element. It was sort of like one of those Japanese-Mexican fusion restaurants making two things that shouldn't go together. And Colin Hanks as Sheriff Abel was really incredibly fun to watch. He's a bad guy that's also an idiot that you love to see get taken down. Same with Sharon Stone as the wildly evil Lindina. It was really good to see her again in a role, but man, she was really easy to hate here. The fun of the film is the choreographed fight scenes that Odenkirk trained extensively for, learning and practicing all sorts of martial art styles and working to really get into shape for the role, and it really shows. He really is a lot of fun to watch, and he's the reason you come to see this film. The third act was where the film kind of gets a little stale and predictable for me. Sharon Stone as the bad guy uses a film trope that I don't really care for, where you know who is going to take out the girl in the end, and it was exactly that. You'll know when you see it, and I'm sure I probably gave it away there. And I'm not sure how I felt about the old Home Alone setup that they do all around the amusement park to lead the bad guys into all these sorts of traps. I didn't hate it, but I don't know. I thought it was okay. And at times, like when Odenkirk goes down a water slide to get away from a bad guy and the bad guy follows, I thought that was really fun and funny the way they shot it. There is an unresolved issue concerning all the money that he still owes the Russians that sort of bothered me personally, but I expect that probably he's going to address this in Nobody 3, and honestly, I'm kind of there for it. This is just one of those fun popcorn action flicks where you just sit there and enjoy the ridiculousness of it all, and the insanely choreographed fight scenes are great. Some films are a 4-course fine dining experience, and some are just fair food. And this was all fried Twinkies and funnel cakes, but there's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, I love fair food. Nobody 2 is a fun action film where you're just there to, well, have fun. Bob Odenkirk is, again, so fun to watch, and I appreciated some fun surprises, especially when it came to Hutch's brother Henry. It's a marshmallow and cream banana sandwich with all fluff and comedy and amusement park fun you'd expect. I'm giving Nobody 2 3.5 stars out of 5 for all these reasons. I really enjoyed this one. It wasn't complex. It was just stupid fun. It's rated R for lots of action and violence and lots of strong language. But as always, I really want to know your thoughts on Nobody 2. Was it a far stretch from the first film? Was it more of the same? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for being a part of the channel. And if you're not, like and subscribe so that we can be friends. And as always, don't wait till it streams. Let's go to the theater and let's see it together.